What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We are presented by Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app. Coming to you on this casual Friday, heading into the All-Star break. All-Star weekend is upon us, guys. Got a big show coming. We're going to talk about All-Star weekend, our expectations for Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. Then we'll get into the mailbag and, talk about a lot of Nuggets topics, one of which I'm really excited for, grading David Adelman in his first season as Nuggets coach. It's been a hot button topic. A lot of people have given their takes about it. I can't wait to give ours. I'm Harrison Wind. I got D-Line with me.
That's right, guys. I'm coming to you from my new office. Look at this.
It looks so startup-y with the brick in the background. And what company could you be working at?
It's a new food delivery service powered by AI. Just kidding.
Also got Brendan Vogt in the house.
What up, gang? Tried to trim my mustache today. Messed up. Took a chunk out of it, so the whole thing's gone. We're just starting over. It's the way that it's All-Star break. I got a week, Let's see how this. I don't feel good about it.
You got to give us the play-by-play on what happened here.
Yeah.
I had pretty much managed a good trim, going with it, but I couldn't get it just underneath the nose, so I went to do a little manual trim with a comb, and it literally just slipped, and I took a chunk out, and so here we are, starting over from scratch. But you know what I mean? This is like, I think a Buddhist would say this is good for you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be clinging to stuff like that, and you just got to be ready to die and start all over again at any point,
Well, the Buddhist monks are, I think, hairless, so they would agree with you. But anyone here on the Western side of the world would say that's not good at all. That you look like you're 11 years old.
I was about to go to Texas too with a mustache. I was feeling great about it, but what are you gonna do? Hide maybe for a month.
Are you going to grow it back, or is just...
Yeah, of course I'm going to grow it back. Look at this, dude. Look at this.
Oh, my God.
I digress. It's not about me, you guys.
No.
Of course. It's about this show, first and foremost. It's about the chat. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, as always, on this Casual Friday. Let's start with the All-Star game this weekend, guys. Tonight, I don't know if anybody's tuning in for Rising Stars. Probably just skip over that one.
That's tonight, huh? That's tonight.
Who
on my calendar?
Who's involved in this? I don't even know. Is there anyone interesting that we should be interested in?
I honestly didn't even give Kale a graphic for Rising Stars because there's been so many people just dropping out of it because due to injury. I feel like there's not even a roster that people know.
Did Pet Corneli make it this year, or did he not make it?
I think he just missed. Nikola Radicevic in the conversation, not going to be playing in the game though.
Kamagate, did he make it?
Nah. They tried to get him. To get him. He actually declined.
He was busy. Yeah.
I do have the Castrol Rising Stars rosters up here. Team Mello. Reed Shepard, Stephon Castle, Jeremiah Fears, Dylan Harper, Donovan Clingan, Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg. He's out. He's not playing. Colin Murray Boyles. Team T-Mac, Con Knipple, Khalil Ware, Trey Johnson, Jalen Tyson. Yeah, so you kind of get the gist.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to be... that's exciting.
Saturday night... is the 3-point contest, slam dunk contest, a couple other things. Let's start with the 3-point contest, though, because Jamal Murray is in it, and he's competing alongside some other shooters, including Devin Booker, Con Knipple, Dame Lillard, who hasn't played in a game this season, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Bobby Portis, who's shooting like 46% from three, and Norm Powell. Are we hyped for the 3-point contest? It's kind of become the main event of All-Star weekend.
Absolutely. I think it is. This is the one I get hyped for anyway. And now Jamal Murray's in it. And, I don't know necessarily why they put a guy who's recovering from an Achilles tear and then also Bobby Portis in it. There seems like maybe better options, but this is a good field. It's really exciting. And honestly, I don't know how Jamal's going to perform it. You know what I mean? This is a weird contest. You don't necessarily, it's not as simple as who's the best shooter. We haven't seen him kind of involved in any of these sort of activities or competitions before. So I honestly don't know how he's going to do. I know he's shooting the cover off the ball, but taking it off the rack. He didn't care. Scott asked him if he's been practicing taking it off the rack, and Jamal was like, I don't know, dude. Maybe I'll just shoot left-handed. So I have no idea how he's going to do.
Yeah, I don't. He'll lose. He'll down. Anytime a Nugget's involved in any type of these things, like, it's always disappointing. I've learned this. Like, I was like, oh man, Will Barton's gonna tear it up when he's in the slam dunk contest.
You thought that, huh?
Yeah, he like came out wearing a Michael Jackson coat. He was like had a whole routine, and then it was just like,
right?
And then it was just like, oh god, it was so terrible. No, I mean, I fully expect that Jamal Murray will be eliminated in the first round, and then I'll just move on with my life. But I would like him to win. That would be sick. Like, it is cool to actually have a Nugget involved. This is like a very it feels very novel, but it also feels like it's not going to go the way we want it to. I just am prepared for it, but who knows? Let's watch.
I hope he's been practicing. I hope he's like off the rack for sure. Like, it's a big difference just shooting the ball off the catch versus off the rack. Like, if you ask a lot of the guys who are in the 3-point contest, they do practice a lot. It's like a whole different process, and picking a ball up from your side as opposed to catching one like you normally do for a pass your entire life. If he did practice, and if like he is mentally like actually wanting to win this thing, I think he absolutely can.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what you actually look for in this contest is like, you know who I think would be terrible in this contest? Michael Porter.
Oh,
well, yeah, I agree. I agree with this.
D-line and Michael Porter, because Michael Porter's jump shot, he jumps so high. Like, there's so much that goes into his entire calibration for every single jump shot that he takes. Like, there's so many moving parts, it seems like, to where that seems tough to repeat in a 3-point contest setting where everything has to happen so quick. Jamal Murray's jump shot is so easy. It's so simple and quick and clean. He's got a way more compact delivery. I just feel like he kind of has the type of jump shot to win it. Like Damian Lillard, if you think about his 3-point shot, there's nothing extra that goes into it, you know?
I completely agree. First of all, Murray's just having that kind of a season where, he once said about Tim and Mike, like, once he sees the net, he can get the ball through the net. Kind of how I feel about Jamal right now. It's a really, really wide hoop for him. So he absolutely can do this. He's just straight up been one of the very best shooters in the NBA this season. His percentage on his volume with the amount of pull-ups he takes and the percentage he takes on pull-ups. So it's not just a guy that's wide open all the time, especially in that month of January. It's a guy who's just kind of taking him off the dribble. He's locked in right now. So as long as baseball's like this too. Like, some guys won't do the home run derby because it messes their swing up too much. This isn't quite as drastic, but if he can sort of make this leap to the rack thing, which if he's watching this, he's not. He's rolling his eyes. So we'll see how he does.
There's no way he's watching this. But the main thing is that, like, I am just looking forward to Jamal Murray. We mentioned this briefly, but Jamal Murray being like a main character of All-Star Weekend. Like, I love that he's involved. It's not just like a weird throwaway thing. He's in an event. You never see him again. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know. Like, I don't love that he's been like too cool for school every time he's been asked about this, even because this is like a very big deal. Like, it really is a big deal. It's like very emblematic of where he is in his career, very like versus where he's come from. Getting voted in as an all-star is a massive deal. And I feel like he's been like, oh, I just play basketball. And you're like, bro, come on, man. Like, this is so big, dude.
I think it's, the weird thing about Murray is he's come to this backwards. Like, he won a title, played at the level he did all of that stuff before he made it. Right. So I think he's trying to thread this needle of like, yes, I want this. Yes, it feels good, but I can't victory lap this too hard, which I think is part of why he said, let's, like, I want to win all NBA and just kind of keep it going through the entire season. Cause maybe that feels like a loftier and a better goal to sort of talk about all the time than just making all-star.
Yeah, I get it. But like, man, that would be like, if Jamal Murray makes it far in this competition, and he's not just like an also ran, and then he like might start for the world team. We don't know. Like, I don't know actually I don't know who's in, who's out. But there's like a chance like that people could like really take notice of Jamal Murray more so than, like the same way that they do Devin Booker, or like these guys that have sort of been around and you just think of them being in like the upper echelon of the NBA. Like Jamal has most assuredly entered that tier. I just hope it like that the rest of the NBA like really feels that,
Yeah. I mean, his Q score right now it's near levels that it was in 2023, I feel like. Remember coming off that championship, how people talked about Jamal Murray. I think in some player rankings, he was
top 20
in the teens. Yeah. He was like 16, 17 or so.
And we
feel like
this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like if those rankings were coming out right now, he'd probably be in a pretty similar spot, in that, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 range, somewhere in that. But I just feel like, he has the respect right now in the moment of everybody. I mean, obviously, we've been singing his praises all season, but people, when they're looking at just the Nuggets right now from a national level, I feel like the biggest storyline, yes, is like, okay, you have the injuries and you have what Jokic has done, but I honestly wonder if Jamal's season is creeping up towards like the Jokic storyline in terms of like, what's the biggest narrative around the Nuggets right now? Is it Jokic or is it like the season Jamal Murray had? It kind of might just be the season Jamal Murray had.
It is, man. Like Jokic's season started off where it felt like we were going to be writing poems and songs about it. Like he was like he was cruising at a level that I don't think anybody even imagined he could hit, and he was doing it every single night. And since he's come back from injury, it just like hasn't quite been the same, obviously. And I mean, I fully anticipate we'll get back there, but I think that to this point, like takes away from the season narrative. And I really think like Jamal Murray's ascension is the central storyline for the Nuggets this season.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree. I completely agree. And that's not to say that he's overtaken Jokic in terms of profile or anything like that.
No.
Jokic missed a chunk of the season. And like the next thing for Jokic to do is to dethrone the Thunder and SGA, right? Like that's the thing that would change any kind of conversation about him. Whereas right now, people are talking, you can just see it on the timeline. People are talking about Murray outside of the Denver sphere,
which is crazy.
I haven't really seen before, except for, as Wynn pointed out, the playoffs. So I do think people are ready to say Jamal Murray is a top X player in the league. If he, like he said, if he finishes this strong and contends for to backdoor into the NBA there, like all NBA, that's going to be the narrative.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the All-Star Game rosters, Kale.
I can't wait.
And obviously there's been some changes to these as we've had players drop out and replaced in the actual All-Star Game. That's 3-point contest. Let's hit the All-Star Game rosters.
Kale's in Seattle, so he's
yeah, we know what that means. Yeah. Here we go. So let's take a look at Team World. This is who was selected as the Team World roster: Giannis, Denny Avdia, Luka, SGA, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns.
Some glasses here.
So there's obviously been some replacements. Did you guys see that Norman Powell is on Team World?
I did see that. I did see that.
He's representing Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Norman Powell way more interesting than I ever realized? He's from Jamaica, or is he has family?
I would say he probably that's his descent and his heritage. But I don't know. I probably shouldn't speak on it if I don't know. But yeah, there is a little bit of like, this looked awesome, this whole format. And then, especially as you see the teams as they're voted in and intended and picked, and then you kind of realize everyone's hurt. And then slowly, as they have to replace people, they have to move people. Like they moved Towns over to World, I believe. Eventually, he was one of the first guys that moved over, and now they're going to move Powell. And so it's going to get a little bit like team international, kind of. But I mean, listen, I'm the first layer of this for me is that you're gonna have Murray and Jokic on an international team together, and that they're playing together just ups my excitement level for this so much.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a clip. They did play together in the Rising Stars Challenge years back.
That's right.
Jamal Murray won MVP of that game.
Right.
That's right.
And we also remember also did Kenneth Farid. So it really doesn't, it means more maybe to some than it does to others. Yeah, man, I got to be honest. Like, I agree with you. Like the notion that they're playing together is pretty cool. I'm really curious to see if the fact that there are these three teams and there is some sort of like built-in competition actually means something. But I'm not holding my breath. Like, I just have no faith in the All-Star game being an interesting exhibition of any kind. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe we get a little PBJ, a little international PBJ. Hazelnut and jelly.
I just want one moment. I want one Jokic Murray moment in the All-Star game. Is that too much to ask?
It might be.
It might be. I asked Jokic, like, just for a little. I was like, "Will we see the 2-man game in the All-Star game?" And he just did not care. So,
God damn it!
I know. I'm like, dude, just throw me just like the time, like a little wishbone, you know. But
is Kevin Durant right? Is Jokic the singular reason that the All-Star game sucks?
Not singular. He's not the solution. I'll tell you that.
Definitely not the solution. Definitely not the cause of it either. Good point by in the chat there. Julian was a rising All-Star last season, and his career has really taken off since.
Yeah, it's true. Wow, really?
Hey, respect for the man that's honestly helped keep them relatively afloat in the last couple of weeks.
Yes,
absolutely.
I mean, for sure. I mean, you know that I'm on that. I'm going to stay on that side. But you're
going to stay on that island, is what you're going to do.
I would say his career has not really taken off since. I think that there's some sarcasm woven in there.
You think so?
I do think so. Yes.
Let's hit a break. And on the other side, we're going to get to the mailbag. And one really interesting question I thought was grading David Adelman's season. How has he done in his first season as Nuggets head coach? We'll talk about that and a bunch of other mailbag questions right after this.
In basketball, tough matchups are won by teams that work together. When the Nuggets won in 2023, that was their special sauce. Obviously, helps to have the most talent around you, which you want, no matter the arena. But in basketball, of course, it's chemistry. It's working together that gets you all the way to the top. And when life throws you its toughest challenges, like a cancer diagnosis, you need the best by your side. For more than 30 years, Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers has rallied behind Coloradans, treating more adult cancers than anyone else in the state. You want a team that works together. You want the most talent you can surround yourself with. You want the very best to help you treat that cancer diagnosis and help you deal with it. Fighting for each other is what great teams and loyal fans like you do, no matter the opponent. Rocky Mountain Cancer Center is official sponsor of Denver sports fans. Shout out Bet365, where it is never ordinary. They hand out a ton of different kind of props and offers depending on what sport you like to play or watch. I mean, there's the MLB early payout offer. There's tons of offers throughout the NFL season, which of course has ended. With the NBA, you're waiting for Tuesdays where they've got that tip-off Tuesday offer. Place a qualifying same-game parlay bet with the safety net bet feature on Tuesday NBA games. Get up to $10 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Terms and conditions apply. Again, you want to download this app, Bet365. Use code DNVR365 when you sign up. You're going to get deals. You'll also be able to play along on our pregame show when Superstar Dennis makes his pregame picks. And again, breaking news from Bet365. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be placed on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. You have to be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please do gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions do apply.
All right, we're back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. As always, we're presented by Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app. Casual Friday edition of the show. getting ready for All-Star Weekend. Before we get to the mailbag, one more note on All-Star Weekend. I promise, one more note. Did you guys know the Nuggets actually have a third representative out there at All-Star Weekend? I don't know if you saw this yesterday.
Is it DJ Pause?
It is not DJ Pause, although
he is out there. He is out there.
Oh,
so
he is?
We have 4. Is it the announcer? Yeah.
Miles Teller might be there. Actually, we might have more representatives than I think. Spencer Jones is also at All-Star Weekend.
Really?
Oh,
for
yeah.
LinkedIn?
For some networking, growing the game. Let me actually see exactly what it was here. We tweeted it out from the Nuggets account. He's at a NBA Launchpad event with a company, Close Up 360. Just talking about the game, ways to grow the game, just really advancing the NBA forward.
There's a tech conference there too, and I saw Vic Lombardi tweeted, "You'll never guess which Nugget is here."
Is Spencer Jones going to be the commissioner in like 10 years?
He's got to go ahead, Dylan. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, is he the best person to represent the NBA? He's not doesn't currently have an NBA contract or a two-way. He's currently unemployed by the NBA.
Well, maybe that's what he's talking with Adam Silver about.
Just doing
we got to get this thing hammered out.
The funny thing is, this guy, it's cool that he really prepared for life outside of sports. Has started alongside Jokic for more than half the year. He's a basketball player now. You're good, actually.
Yeah. When on one of our watch-alongs, we were laughing pretty hard about the idea that Spencer Jones has there are certain people in certain professions that do not need to network. Being an NBA player should be one of those, but Dev was like, who doesn't have a LinkedIn page? Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards does not have a LinkedIn profile. I'm quite certain of this. It really is just Spencer Jones and Duncan Robinson and nobody else. It's amazing.
It is amazing, man. It is amazing. Well, we'll see what happens during All-Star Weekend. If Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray win MVP of the All-Star game, maybe we'll do an emergency show Sunday night.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Maybe. Let's dive into the mailbag here. Open it up. We got some good questions for today. The one I want to start with, though, how would you grade David Adelman to this point? What would define success, failure for DA as a first full year head coach? So, how would we grade David Adelman so far this season? Just to this point. Let's start with that. What do you guys think?
I'll go first. I give him an A. I absolutely give him an A. I don't think it's been particularly smooth, but I don't think that any coach has had to deal with the amount of player movement in and out, injured, not injured, figuring out how to balance new lineups. There's only been one or two games because that I have looked at and been frustrated with something that he did, either too late to make an adjustment or I felt like he hung on to something too long. And I think that was like in the Malone era, you'd get like 10 of those to this point where you'd be like, I could tell he's trying something out, but he's being way too stubborn about this. So, I mean, the injury is obviously not his fault, but I feel like he has done a good job keeping the ship afloat during this really difficult stretch.
What do you think, Vogt?
I'll go B+. I'll say I'm gonna leave a little room for improvement. First of all, just right off the bat, he definitely did come into the season with a better roster than we've seen. Probably the best Nuggets roster ever, really, if they were to stay healthy. He's had to navigate all these injuries for them to have the record they do to be where they're at. It's got to say something, right, about the job he's done. The players, first and foremost, but Adelman as well. I will say the reason I'm not in A range yet is I feel like the minutes restriction stuff ate him up a little bit. You could argue maybe he mismanaged the Aaron Gordon stuff as well. Maybe that's unfair, by the way. I'm open to that. I'm not. I don't really know enough about, right? Like, I'm not in the room. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you whether I thought AG was ready to go, but it does seem like he pushed it. So there's that. I would say some of the rotation since Jokic got back But that's all really easy to say from here. I think he's really done the heavy lifting of keeping this team afloat while disaster did its best to strike.
Yeah. I think all those points are fair. I'd give him an A too. I think aside, like you said, the restriction stuff has been a little fuzzy. You know, some of the in-game management, the challenges. There's been some questions there. Overall, though, I mean, I feel like he gets an A just based on the fact that Nuggets are the 3 seed, and
Yeah.
they have had a historic amount of injuries this season, and it's forced David Adelman to have 22 different starting lineups already this year. Last year, you know, the Nuggets had 22 different starting lineups total throughout the entire regular season. The year before that, I think they had 14. So the amount of injuries this year has forced the coaching staff to almost have a new game plan and a new approach in 1 out of every 2 games, like pretty much in terms of just how many different lineups they've had, how many guys in and out that they've had. And the fact that they've been able to win this many games with, you know, not just, and these weren't just injuries to guys on the bench or Cam Johnson or Christian Brown. You know, these were injuries to Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon for a lot of the season. They're number 1 and number 3 most important players. So the fact that they've emerged from all of this at the 3 seed with seemingly still an opportunity to get a good enough seed to win a championship, I've got to give him an A. I feel like there's probably not that better of a job that he could have done. Like there's little things he could do here and there, sure. But the fact that he has been able to help the Nuggets win this many games with the injuries they've had, it's just like, I don't know how much more we could have expected from a first-year guy. This is his first year as a head coach. And to be thrown into the fire like this has been crazy.
One other thing that kind of pushed me to B+ more than A- is the clutch time stuff and not being as good as at home.
Yep.
Again, there are factors worth discussing beyond just someone's incompetence in those dynamics. Like the schedule is not easy for the games they played at home. They've had different guys all the time. So what you look like in the clutch is not an easy thing to sort of settle on when you're closing with different lineups all the time. So there's plenty of, like, I'll give him time to navigate it. It's just sort of keeping me from saying, yeah, you're absolutely in the honor roll. But that's such, like, this is semantics. Like, I think we're like B+, A-. I think we're all kind of in the same ballpark here. The point is, whatever nits you might pick, the bigger picture is the job he's done to keep them from collapsing, I think.
Yeah, I feel like as the season stretches on, I will be and we will all be a lot more critical of, you know, his ATOs, plays he draws up, more strategic things that we were expecting him to really lean on as his expertise coming into the season. But like, it really has just been like, I mean, when you lose Nikola Jokic, you have to completely change the style of play. Like they completely changed their identity. You obviously don't have the big guy in the middle that is acting as the I don't know, the maestro of this orchestra, like getting everything going. They've became a much more 3-point shooting heavy team. So all that to say, like he's had to, you know, he's not just sitting back and watching Jokic work and like taking credit for it. He's having to sort of like plug holes left and right. But as we go on, like, you know, I give him an A to this point, but I do think that there is still a lot of room for improvement, but I don't think he's had the opportunity to even be in the position to implement some of the things we were expecting.
Yeah. What do you guys make of the clutch time struggles? We talked about it on the show the other day. Offensively, they've been not nearly as good as they've been in seasons past, but they're ranked about 10th in clutch time offense. Defense, 29th, so pretty much the worst in the league. That's been the biggest kind of outlier. For me, I think not having Aaron Gordon in the clutch has gone a little underrated. Because if you just think about what he means offensively in the clutch, playing the dunker spot in the Murray Jokic pick and roll is so important. to running like the play, as we always joke about, like having that threat of Aaron Gordon for the lob in that dunker spot, playing the glass there is such an underrated role. They don't really have anybody else that can do that at all. And then defensively, that's really where you miss Aaron Gordon a ton. Yeah, like I think he's the biggest reason why, just singular biggest reason why Nuggets defense has been awful this season. But I think you can carry that over to the clutch. Like he is their best all-around defender, I feel like, in terms of on-ball, off-ball, IQ, rebounding, like just their best pound-for-pound defender. So I feel like his absence is kind of underrated, under-talked about in the clutch struggles.
No doubt about it. A fundamental part of what they're trying to do, their half-court operation on both sides of the ball, their identity, the way they'd like to space the floor, the way they can match up with certain physicality and size, the way without Aaron Gordon in that dunker spot. And by the way, right now, and Peyton Watson and Spencer Jones, like there's Bruce Brown there sometimes. We've seen Jalen Pickett earlier in the year. It's that much easier for teams to just kind of collapse on Jokic. So
you just
that's
don't have to worry about that guy at all.
Yep. They just don't. And they don't. So that's all part of it. I think, honestly, this is one of the I usually, when Jokic goes through his funks or whatever, I always try to stop myself. Like, he's going to be fine. One real, actual kind of finer point of criticism I have of him this year is his defense in the clutch, and maybe his offense as well. There's like some turnovers sometimes that don't feel like what you expect from him, right? And that's ultimately because I think and I know that he's the best player in the world. And then defensively, I think they haven't really they just haven't really figured out an identity on that side of the ball either. And without the key players, you haven't seen Jokic, I don't think, playing his hardest on that end. The last one, guys, against Memphis, it just felt like no one was even trying. And that's not just Jokic, that's everyone. So the defense is the biggest part of it for me. I'm sure as they get healthy and get their guys back offensively, their identity will be there. But they've got to play a little harder in crunch time here on defense. Yeah,
I mean, I really feel like it's all about the sense of urgency. Like they just don't have a sense of urgency at all. You know, that when they blew that, who did they lose to right before the Grizzlies? They lost to the Cavs, and they blew it in crunch time. And Jokic had the ball deep in the paint, and he just like kicked it out to who was wide open, Tim Hardaway, who missed the shot. But it was like, it's still, I mean, you could say that it's the best, it's the better shot. It's a wide open three. It was a deep three, but like, if that was the playoffs, Jokic would just carve through those guys, and he would just, he would bowl through. He would get it up. It would just, like, I just get the sense in general, kind of like what you're saying. It's Vogt. There's just, I don't know, man. It doesn't mean the same to them that it has in the past. You can tell. It's like every game, they're really like, they really do feel like they're now a part of rings culture, which I hate, where they're just like waiting for the playoffs already. Like the dog days are getting earlier and earlier and earlier, and the team feels like it cares, and then it doesn't, and it does. And, sometimes you're like, you can't even argue with them. You're like, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, we won't remember this. And as long as you get into the playoffs, you're going to be fine. But like, I don't believe that they're just now incapable of winning games in the clutch. I just don't think that that's something that is ever going to be true. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. It just feels like there is a joylessness to the way that the Nuggets have been going about their business for most of the season.
Yeah, and I think the injuries are a big part of that too. Let's hit another break. On the other side, we'll continue with the mailbag, including this really interesting question, I thought. What's the worst seed the Nuggets can have and win the West? Interesting question. We'll talk about that right after this.
Shout out Xfinity. Throw those X's up. Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Man, anytime you can guarantee anything over 5 years, what a treat that is. Life likes to throw you curves, bounces, ups and downs. You know this as a Nuggets fan. At least with Jokic on the team, there's a 5-year guarantee you'll be competitive, right? But what if you could have a 5-year guarantee for reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price, again, for that 5 years? That's that Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Tomorrow's price, it is the same as today's price. Today's price is the same as yesterday's price if you've locked it in with this Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. I work in sports media. I need Wi-Fi that works, that makes everything happen. And to have that and to also have a 5-year price guarantee, that's perfect for me. It could be perfect for you. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only and restrictions apply. Our good friends at Red Hawk Roofing. If you're familiar with DNVR Nuggets, you're familiar with Red Hawk Roofing. They help sponsor some of our favorite projects. They help us do some of our favorite things to just sort of contribute to that local Colorado culture, that local Denver culture. And that's what they're all about. I shouldn't say that's what they're all about. It's very important to them. What they're really all about is roofing. They're the best in the game. No project too small for our guys at Red Hawk. They're your go-to for everything from minor repairs to a full roof replacement on your home or business. It can start small. They earn your trust, and you know that these are guys you can rely on to do some good work, without ripping you off, right? Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time, Colorado's best estimators and contractors. They're all about you. They're all about that trust. They're all about those long-lasting relationships. Supporting your local teams means also supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921. Tell them DNVR Nuggets sent you.
All right, we're back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast, presented by Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app. Here on a Casual Friday, let's move on with the mailbag to what I thought was a pretty interesting question here from Scott. What's the worst seed the Nuggets can have and win the West? Let's take health out of it. Let's assume the Nuggets are healthy. What's the worst seed they could have where you would still feel comfortable with them winning the West?
The 10 seed. Like them getting an opportunity to get into the play. Like the Nuggets are just becoming the Miami Heat of the West, where they're going to be artificially low in the standings as the season comes to an end. Maybe they'll be able to.
They're the 3 right now, so maybe not.
Maybe they'll be able to fight their way up. But I mean, like the Miami Heat 2 years in a row came from the middle of the pack or the bottom of the pack and ended up winning. I don't think that there's, outside of seeding home court advantage, I don't really see much of a difference for the Nuggets. They can beat everybody. It just really comes down to the fact that they just need all of their guys healthy. This is the first time I really don't care about seeding. Like to me, it doesn't matter. I would like them to get home court advantage, but I don't think it's a requirement. I really just think they need to get into the playoffs and they'll be fine.
I'm going to say 4. I think you need to be able to win your first couple of rounds in under 7 games, and you definitely can't go 7 games. So even in this sort of scenario where they Miami Heated, if it takes you 7 because you're playing a top seed in the first round, I'm just worried about what that does to Denver's kind of fatigue and chances of being injured and your chances of kind of going all the way when you play too much too early in a playoff run. It's a sneaky big factor. Like if your team that's good enough to contend is able to have the postseason they want to. So I agree with D-Line about they can beat anyone. I just wonder if that would just make it too arduous for me. So it's not even about home court. It's just about not having to play the top 3 teams out West too early.
Yeah. I'm not going to say 10 like D-Line. I'm not going to say 4. I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say it's top 7 because that would just mean you don't play the Thunder in the first round.
Yeah.
And I would feel comfortable, with the Nuggets playing any other first round team and kind of their road from there. I mean, the Pacers got to the finals last year as the 4 seed. The year before that, the Mavs got there as the 5 seed. And of course, the year before that, the Heat got there as the 8 seed. So there has been kind of a narrative, and it has been absolutely true that you need to be a top, couple seed to get to the finals and to win a championship and to really be in that contender tier. I do feel like that's fading a little bit. Like teams that are the 1 seed, yes, definitely a more likely chance that they do get to the finals, even for the 2 seed whenever. But I kind of feel like the narrative shifting in terms of maybe you don't have to be that top 1 or 2 seed to have a path to the final, just because we've seen it in these last couple seasons. And with this Nuggets team, I mean, this is kind of a weird regular season. This is a little bit of an outlier season where everybody's been hurt, and we know the team they have on paper. And when they're whole, yeah, like I think they can run through, pretty much anybody in the West. But I think they can actually be like a 5-6 seed and still have a great shot to make the finals.
Yeah, I mean that obviously that's not preferred, but the question was like, and I see that someone in the chat has mentioned like none of the teams that got in won the chip, but the question was, what does it take to win the West?
Well, Indiana took OKC to Game 7 last year and then lost Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah,
in the first quarter of that game. I mean, that was good enough. That was good enough to win the championship, pretty much,
for sure. So I mean, like, listen, like I think that I agree with Vogt in the sense that you don't want to burn too hot, too fast, too early, wear down as the playoffs wear on, so that you don't, run into a buzzsaw when you actually do get to the finals. Knock on wood, please. But all that to say, like, I'm not stressed out about the seed. Like, I obviously would like them to get the highest seed possible. I'd like them to get home court advantage. I'd like them to get rest as the playoffs go on, but I don't think they have to. Like, if they still are fighting injuries down this stretch and they don't really get their guys back until the very end and they find themselves in the 4, 5, 6, like, I'm not going to freak out because I don't think it's not an accurate representation of who the team actually is.
Yeah. There is some interesting stuff happening with the West though, because there's like some separation happening between, I'll even say like the top 6 and then the rest of the field. Because right now you have OKC, San Antonio, Denver, Houston, LA, Minnesota in the top 6. That to me is clearly the 6 best teams in the West. I think you can change up the order a little bit. Like, I would take Minnesota over the Lakers, but to me, that's clearly the 6 best teams in the West. And then in the play-in right now, you've got Phoenix, Golden State, Portland, Clippers. Like, all of a sudden, that tier of the Western Conference playoffs looks extremely weak, like as in the play-in tier. So, I mean, if you're the 2 seed, you're going to get Phoenix, Golden State, Portland, or the Clippers in the first round right now. That's pretty enticing compared to if you're the 3 seed and you're going to get Minnesota. So I know I just said the Nuggets could be, like a really low seed and make a run. And I do believe that, but like being at the 2 seed right now looks really, really enticing just with the teams that are currently in the plan.
I think it all matters. I think it all matters to avoid playing the best teams you can for as long as you can. Not because you're afraid of them, because you want to be fresh, you want to be healthy. And we've just sort of seen what's happened to Denver as they've, through fault of their own, had to overextend themselves at times. So hopefully it's a bit different this time around.
Yeah. Let's move on to another mailbag question. Kale, what else do we got here? From Derek, in your opinion, who is more likely to be on the Nuggets next season, Cam Johnson or Peyton Watson?
It's a great question, honestly.
That is a really good question. That's a tough question, too.
Who's more likely? Well, I would say more likely is the guy that's under contract currently. That's not going to be a free agent. Even though it's a restricted free agent. But there's a lot of ambiguity and a lot of moving parts with that, because if the Nuggets decide that they really want the guy that is the restricted free agent, it might mean having to move off of the guy that has that is under contract, moving his contract to do so. But I mean, I think you have to say the guy with the pole position is the guy that they already have, right? Like, they already have under contract.
Yeah.
What say you?
I think 5-5-5-5-5-ish brought up a good point. It does depend on how it goes in the playoffs. Probably. I might give a slight edge to Cam Johnson right now. I probably would. But it might not be that big of an edge, because
I don't think it is.
I mean, if you ask the Nuggets right now, who would you rather keep going forward, Peyton Watson or Cam Johnson? I think they'd all say Peyton Watson.
Well, also, you have to pay Cam Johnson next summer too, so it's not right, which is the point of the question. So it's not the same as just, well, you'd rather have this guy locked up and not have to go give PWat however much money he's earned. You're going to have to go pay Cam. So I think PWat is who you'd probably rather, is definitely who you'd rather have long term. No disrespect to Cam.
What about next year? What about next year? Would you rather PWat or Cam Johnson? I'd rather have Peyton Watson.
I need to see how Cam Johnson finishes this season out because he's been great, and PWat has been amazing as well. He's had a huge emergence. I still don't totally trust his offensive emergence. Like I maybe that's my issue more than it is his. But I just I need to see how it plays out as the pressure ramps up, and like to 5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5-ish's point. Let's see what happens in the playoffs, man. Like that's the ultimate indicator. That's where this team is that like, if you're not going to be able to help them in the playoffs, or if you're going to help them a lot in the playoffs, that is much more valuable than anything else that you can really quantify at this point. But like a homegrown guy versus a whatever, it's just like, yo, are you going to help us get the job done or not? And that's going to be the thing that really, is the guiding light.
But yeah, the playoffs will give us, I think, much more important data here. But that's why it's a fun question. Now, well, fun's not the right word. It's an interesting question now.
I know, dude. It's not, in fact, not fun at all. No, it's like the least fun question there is.
I would like to have them both. If that's
I know, dude. It's a terrible question.
Like there's a lot of stuff that can happen in terms of who has cap space, who doesn't. This summer, who wants to hand Peyton Watson a huge offer in restricted free agency that the Nuggets have to match. There were a couple teams that took themselves out of the cap space derby, I guess, this trade deadline, though. It kind of seems like the Lakers are the only team with just a ton of cap space.
Plus the interest. I mean, restricted free agency is kind of dying. It's one of the smaller
it's not good.
or overlooked, I guess, kind of wrinkles of the new CBA and whatever era of basketball team building we're in now. Teams don't want to kind of waste cap space waiting for a guy that they might not be able to sign anyway. And so it's hard enough to kind of arrange your cap space the way you need it. So if your whole offseason is tied up in trying to land one guy when the other team can just match it, and to make it so enticing or difficult for the other team to not match it, you have to possibly overpay.
I know.
That's becoming a more and more kind of potentially costly decision, as teams are trying to figure out how to build the best roster 1 through 10, 1 through 11 that they can.
So and I just look at Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes is like the number one guy in the league that I feel like has a similar standing and ran into a similar situation that PWat is going to be facing in the offseason. Like he was a restricted free agent. The 76ers just kind of sat on his contract, didn't do anything, waited till all of the other avenues for him closed, and then signed him to, I think, to a 1-year deal that was kind of crummy. And he's a really good player. Like I think they expected as much as like most of the NBA expected there'd be kind of like a bidding war for him, because he came in from the Mavericks like scoring 40 points, scoring 50, like he was really on a roll. And then the 76ers ended up getting him just sort of as a cap sheet casualty, and then they just kind of like strung him along, and now he's like sort of in limbo. Like, so I don't really know how it works. Like with the new NBA being just the full haves and the have-nots, there's no middle class in the NBA anymore. And that's exactly where PWat is headed. Like, I don't know what that looks like for him. So I guess we're going to find out. I mean, obviously you look at like teams like, the Bulls, who have nothing, or who have basically no players that they're going to be returning next year. Everyone's on an expiring contract. Like a team like that makes you nervous. As a potential place that could try and pry him away. But I would be surprised, though, if we don't end up with PWat still back on the Nuggets. It seems like there's a definite desire for it to happen.
There are just ways to make it happen, whether it's matching straight up or if it gets so bad, you could trade Cam.
Look, if the Nuggets have to keep Peyton Watson now, they have to re-sign him, or they have to find a way to keep him. Because if they go into this summer and lose him for nothing, and then they didn't trade him at the deadline, like that's malpractice. Like they have to keep him now.
Even if you retain him and the role stuff doesn't open up the way he planned or you planned and things sour and go south, you still would then want to trade that contract as opposed to just letting him go. So yeah, you gotta try to bring him back. And if it takes Cam, maybe it does. I mean, it's again, not my preference at all.
Yeah. Let's close. We got 9 minutes left here. Let's wrap up with a couple mailbag questions, Kale. Maybe 2 more. What else we got here in the mailbag? Let's see. Do you all think Jokic will use the impending contract extension this offseason to put a little pressure on ownership, especially given the salary cap situation? Do I think he'll put pressure on ownership? No. But I hope he does. I'll say that.
It's just not his style, man. Like everybody has these things that they want Jokic to do, and he'll just never do any of them. Like he doesn't care what you want for him to do. He's not going to put pressure on the organization. He's not going to shop around. He's not going to move teams. He's just like Jokic is like he's like very comfortable where he's landed. He wants to grow as much as he can. He wants to do this and that, but like he's just definitely not in the position to be like dictating anything that's going on with the team building portion of. There's no way.
Yeah, he's not. It's not his nature at all. But I think the front office knows what he wants, though. Even if he's not coming out and explicitly saying it.
That's the point, is that there is an implicit pressure in that it's not coming from Jokic, but everybody that is involved in the Denver Nuggets feels like it's their moral duty to get Jokic as many championships and accolades as possible. It's like you can't have this gift given to you and squander it. It's literally a sin.
And look, he's been on board and a very prominent voice in most of the big transactions they've made the last couple of years. Like they don't trade Michael Porter Jr. if they don't have Jokic's blessing in doing that. If he's not cool with it, they don't sign Russell Westbrook. I don't think they sign Russell Westbrook unless Nikola Jokic wants that. And the front office knew he had wanted to play with Westbrook for a while. That was the main reason they did it, I think.
And we did hear that Jokic had some thoughts when it came to Bones Highland as to whether or not they were going to keep him on the team or not.
Absolutely. So he's not going to come out and explicitly say it, but I think the front office and Nikola Jokic are both very much in line in terms of the personnel and just what kind of guys they're adding to this team every offseason, every move they don't make at the trade deadline.
All that said, he's going to sign it, and it's going to be the biggest deal in NBA history to that point in time, and he's going to take it.
Yeah. Oh, 100% he's going to sign it. Yeah, definitely. Let's wrap up here. One maybe last mailbag question, Kale. Let's see what we got here. What was your favorite win of the season so far?
Philly.
Dude, yeah, it's the one that we gave a name to, the -7, dude. There's been like 3 dope wins, and one of them came without Jokic, the -7. That was incredible. Are there any other candidates? I mean, they beat Boston. That was pretty cool.
Boston, I like the Philly one was a better win and moment and vibe, but well, maybe not a better win, a better moment for sure.
Yeah.
Boston is a good team that was playing like that was their best basketball they were playing at that time in the season. And granted, they had more guys against Boston than they did again in the Philly game, but the Boston game is probably the best win of the year, just in terms of quality of the win, strength of schedule, all of that.
All I know is that the clips we put out of us at the end of that -7 game was the most excited I've been in my entire life since they won the championship. Like we fell on the floor. Like it was the coolest thing that we've done in a very long time. It was so fun, and nothing's been fun since, frankly.
I agree. I think it was the -7 for sure. That's number one. But what's interesting is we put this question up on Twitter yesterday, and I don't even know if -7 was the one that got the most amount of votes. A lot of people said the Christmas Day game. Christmas Day win over the Timberwolves in overtime.
Because how many
Jokic had 56 points.
That's a good one. And it's also because how many wins have been at home this year. So, like, if you're a fan that was at that game, that was the best moment at Ball Arena by a lot. So that was one. That one's going to stand out in terms of ones you were a part of as a fan.
I think we've kind of forgotten about that game because
I have.
Aaron Gordon was out for that game, and I mean, so was Christian Brown. But like ever since then, the injuries have just taken up so much of our brain power. Like that's all we think about now. You know,
I'm like having memories flooding back. That's right. Like they went into overtime, and the Timberwolves scored like the first 5 or 6 points, maybe the first 7 points, and it was like, God damn it! And then somehow the Nuggets scored the most points in overtime ever.
They scored 27 points in overtime.
That was an insane game. I forgot about that. How did that drop off? Dude, the -7 was just like such a inconceivably fun game. It was just like seemed like there's just no possible chance. But yes, that Christmas Day game was unbelievable.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. That one over the Boston one.
I'm looking back in overtime, actually, of the Christmas Day game. It was 115-115 heading into overtime. Mm-hmm. The Timberwolves immediately go up 121-115 in
the first 6,
a minute 13. They're up 6.
Yeah, and it was like, God damn it. You're going to do this to me on Christmas again?
Oh, no. Sorry. They went up 124-115. They went up 9. In the first 2 minutes.
Scored the first 9 points.
And then Anthony Edwards melted down. Just melted down.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards hit a 3 to put them up 9. And then the Nuggets scored 27 points in overtime.
Do you have the scoring log? Well, how the hell did we do that? Was it just a bunch of
let's
threes?
see.
I can't even remember.
Jokic 3.
That's right. There was like Jokic hit 2 or 3 threes in a row, right? He just came down.
Jokic 3 again.
Yeah.
Jokic 5-foot jumper.
Yeah.
Jokic free throw. There were a lot of those. Jamal Murray 3.
Yes.
Jokic free throw. Jokic technical free throw. Murray technical free throw. This is where Minnesota just melted down. Peyton Watson free throw. A lot of free throws.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It was it was a crazy win. I'm gonna go back and watch those highlights.
Yeah, me too, man. I need to like nurse myself back to health after this like most recent stretch of Nuggets basketball that have like completely sapped me.
Aaron Gordon 50-point game in the opener was
but they lost.
They did lose it. Yeah.
So that's a bad one. That's a bad game.
Yeah. All right, let's hit a couple super chats and get out of here.
Maddox, Otter, Malone never had to deal with injuries like this. David has been great considering. Deciding to start Spence was excellent. Have a nice weekend, fellas.
Oh,
yeah, Malone just had to deal with 5 real guys.
It was an injury inherent in the roster and that it just weren't real guys.
Last word goes to Big Honey 15. Nuggets players, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Fans, that's too damn bad. Keep digging.
Keep digging, man. That sounds like a playoff slogan. Well, thanks for hanging out with us on this Casual Friday, everybody. Great mailbag, great topics today. Let's go enjoy the All-Star weekend. Slam dunk contest, 3-point contest, All-Star game on Sunday. I can't wait. We'll be back with everybody next week to break it all down. Talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.